You're tuned into Plus, the sharp side of the channel, where we break down the top league matches of the day: Premier League, Serie A, La Liga, Bundesliga, all the good stuff. And hey, don't forget to check out our main daily over goals predictions too, because this is where smart bettors get the full picture. Welcome to Plus. Let's get into today's matches.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're looking at the Le Havre versus Brest fixture, and I've got a bet builder that I like. Over 0.5 goals with under 4.5 goals. Let's break it down. First up, Le Havre at home. They've just snapped a 5-game winless run with a 1-0 win away at Auxerre, giving them a bit of momentum. But the bigger picture, their home form is shaky. Only 2 wins in their last 16 at Stade Now Brest. They've got the upper hand historically in this matchup. They've beaten Le Havre in their last 5 meetings, and Le Havre haven't kept a clean sheet in the last 8 fixtures between these two. So what does that mean for our picks? For over 0.5 goals, that's basically just expecting at least 1 goal in the game. That looks very safe. Both teams have found the net in several recent matches, and Le Havre especially tend to concede at home. For under 4.5 goals, meaning the total goals in the game should stay below 5, that also makes sense. While there's a decent chance of more than 1 goal, most predictions are pointing to something like a 2-2 draw or similar, moderate scoring rather than a goal fest. Bonus bit, many tipsters are backing both teams to score, BTTS yes for this one. So if you wanted to layer that on your bet builder, you could, but since your build is over 0.5 and under 4.5, you're already capturing the safe expectation. There will be some goals, but not a crazy amount. So in short, expect this game to see at least 1 goal, very likely, but not turn into 5 or 6 goals, pretty unlikely. The combo over 0.5 and under 4.5 describes that sweet spot. All right, folks, next up we've got Lorient versus PSG in Ligue 1, and I'm backing the combo, PSG win or draw plus over 1.5 goals. Let's talk through why this one makes sense. Starting with Lorient, they're currently sitting down in 16th place, mustering just 8 points so far this season. Their defensive record, not great. They've conceded 21 goals and haven't kept a clean sheet in their last 8 games. Plus, several key injuries for them heading into this one. Now PSG, they're top of the table, confident, and their attacking output has been excellent. They've scored 13 goals in their last 3 matches. The away record is strong too, and odds heavily favor them. Sports gambler. When you look at the head-to-head, Lorient have lost 3 of their last 6 to PSG, with PSG dominating. With Lorient's defense shaky and PSG's attack sharp, expecting at least 2 goals, hence over 1.5, is pretty safe. Also, backing PSG to avoid defeat, win or draw, lines up with how this matchup has gone. Bonus tip, many analysts are leaning towards a PSG win and at least 3 goals in the match. So our build is slightly conservative, win or draw plus over 1.5, but still solid given the context. Wrap up, the hosts are under pressure, the visitors are in form. I like the combo for this one. Here's a solid pick for the Nice versus Lille clash, over 0.5 total goals and under 4.5 total goals. Let's walk through why this one makes sense. Starting with Nice. They've been decent at home, especially against this particular opponent. Their head-to-head history versus Lille shows that there's been over 1.5 goals in about 81% of matches when these two meet. Also, Nice don't tend to be involved in crazy high-scoring games against Lille. Under 2.5 goals has happened in around 68% of their meetings. Now Lille. They're up-tempo and have shown good recent form away from home. Experts suggest a draw or Lille double chance is the shrewdest pick given Nice's resilience at home. Also, previews are emphasizing this will be a competitive match with neither side likely to dominate by a big margin. Putting it all together, over 0.5 goals, very likely. Both teams score reasonably often in H2H matchups, and the 1-0, 1-1, 2-1 style games are common. Under 4.5 goals, also sensible. The history between these clubs tells us very high-scoring games, 5+ goals, are rare. We're looking for a match with some goals, but not a goal fest. Bonus tip, many analysts are leaning toward a draw and both teams to score here. If you wanted to layer in BTTS, both teams to score, it could make sense. But your build already keeps things safe with the 1 to 4 goals window. So to summarize, expect at least 1 goal, almost certain, but unlikely to hit 5 goals or more. This match should sit nicely in the 1-4 goals range. Good combo for your bet builder. All right, everyone, let's dive into the Marseille versus Angers clash. I'm backing Marseille to win and the game to see more than 1.5 goals. Here's why. Starting with Marseille, they're in strong form at the Stade Velodrome, have dominated this fixture in recent seasons, and are clearly favorites coming in. For example, Marseille have won 67% of their last 6 H2H matchups with Angers. Betting models also put their win probability at around 78%. On top of that, Marseille's attack is clicking. They're the highest scoring in the league currently. Now Angers, they're struggling on the road, especially against the big home sides. Their scoring record is among the worst in the league, and historically they found it hard to break down Marseille at home for the hosts. What this tells us: why win Marseille? Dominant home form, strong head-to-head, Angers traveling poorly. Why over 1.5 goals? Marseille score plenty, and with Angers' defense shaky away, you're almost certain at least 2 goals will hit. In fact, many previews expect something like a 3-1 or 3-0 scoreline. Wrap up, this fixture is shaping up for a confident home win, with the hosts likely to put at least 2 past their opponent. So the combo, Marseille win plus over 1.5 goals, fits nicely. We've got Nantes versus Monaco, and I like the combo. Monaco win or draw plus over 0.5 goals. Let's break down why this one makes sense. Starting with Nantes, they've been inconsistent lately. Some previews expect this game to feature under 2.5 goals, especially because Nantes have seen fewer than 2.5 goals in 5 of their last 9 Ligue 1 matches. Their home record isn't awful, but they often struggle to dominate stronger opponents. Now Monaco, they come into this as the clear favorite, with some sources giving them around a 56 to 57% win probability. Monaco have also scored in multiple recent matches versus Nantes. Putting it together, why win or draw for Monaco? The statistical models and betting previews favor Monaco strongly. They're in better form and expected to do enough. Works for away win or draw. Why over 0.5 goals? At minimum, 1 goal is very likely. Most match previews expect scoring, and Monaco in particular are expected to get on the score sheet. Note, some tipsters are actually expecting fewer total goals, under 2.5, for this match, so our over 0.5 is a very safe threshold. Wrap up. So in short, expect at least 1 goal and favor Monaco to pick up the win or settle for a draw, rather than a home upset. That combo fits nicely for what we see in the preview. Hey everyone, next up we've got Como versus Hellas Verona, and I'm backing the combo. Como win or draw plus over 0.5 goals. Let's walk through exactly why this one makes sense. Starting with Como, they're enjoying a strong start this season, sitting up in the top 6 as they push for more. One Stats Zone preview described them as expected to push for a top 7 finish and noted their undefeated status in many recent home fixtures. Their home advantage is clear. They've been tough to beat at Stadio Giuseppe Sinigaglia. Now Hellas Verona, they've had a torrid campaign so far, still searching for their first win and collecting just a handful of points. They're under pressure, which can sometimes lead to defensive lapses. But interestingly, many previews expect low-scoring, tight games when they travel. For example, one statistical model notes that Como's matches have often produced under 2.5 goals. 4BetDoc. Putting it together, why home win or draw for Como? Because their form suggests they're the less risky side, and Hellas Verona are struggling away. Why over 0.5 goals? At minimum, 1 goal is very likely. Regardless of how tight the match goes, you'd expect at least one side to find the net. The home side have the attacking edge. Important note, some analysts are actually pointing toward under 2.5 goals in this fixture, meaning they expect a 0-0 or 1-0 type score. So our combo is conservative on the goal margin, just over 0.5, but still picks up the safer outcome, win-draw for Como, given the context. Wrap up. For this match, I like the safe play. Como to avoid loss, plus expect at least 1 goal in the match. That's your win or draw plus over 0.5 goals combo. All right, everybody. Next up, we've got Juventus versus Udinese, and the bet builder I'm backing is Juventus win or draw plus over 0.5 goals in the match. Let's break down why this makes sense. Starting with Juventus. Historically, when these two sides meet, Juventus have dominated the head-to-head. They've won the bulk of recent meetings. Also, bookmakers and tipsters give Juventus a strong chance to win this game, around 65% according to recent data. However, and this is important, Juventus are going through a rough patch. They've failed to break the deadlock in recent games and have struggled for goals. Now for Udinese. They're underdogs, but coming into this with more confidence compared to Juventus's recent slump. Some previews even favor a draw or better from Udinese given Juve's struggles. Putting it together, why win or draw Juventus? Based on historical dominance and the expectation that Juventus should get at least a point at home. Why over 0.5 goals? At least one goal is very likely, given Juventus want to end their scoring drought, plus Udinese are capable of getting something on the board. Simply put, expect goals rather than nil. Caveat, because Juventus have been low-scoring recently, this combo is more conservative, just over 0.5 goals rather than over 1.5 or higher, which matches the context. Wrap up. So if you're looking for a safe build here, Juventus avoids defeat, plus there's at least one goal. That fits the narrative of this fixture. We've got Bologna versus Torino, and the bet builder I'm backing is over 0.5 goals and under 4.5 goals in full time. Let's break down why this combo makes sense. Starting with Bologna. They're in very good form, unbeaten in their last 6 matches across competitions. At home, they've been especially strong, thrice recent home wins versus Torino, often scoring at least 2 goals in those games. Now for Torino. They're coming into this with some momentum too. They've picked up a couple of wins and look more competitive than earlier in the season. That said, Torino away don't have the strongest record, and Bologna's dominance at home remains a clear factor. Here's the reasoning behind the markets. Why over 0.5 goals? With Bologna in scoring form and Torino capable of getting involved, the chances are very high that at least one goal is scored. Bologna's home matches have featured goals consistently. Why under 4.5 goals? While goals are expected, extremely high-scoring games between these two are less common. Most previews suggest modest scoring, something like 2-1, 2-0, rather than 5 or 6 goals. So in short, expect a match with some action, goals will come, but don't expect a goal fest that blows past 4 or more goals. That makes 1 to 4 goals a solid window. We're looking at Inter Milan versus Fiorentina, and the build I'm backing is Inter win or draw plus over 1.5 goals. Let's dive into why this is a sensible combo. Starting with Inter, they're clear favorites at home. Many previews give them around a 68 to 73% probability of winning this match. Also, in the head-to-head matches versus Fiorentina, the average number of goals per match is about 3.02. Their home games especially have consistently seen at least one goal. In fact, every one of the last Inter vs Fiorentina home games had over 1.5 goals. Now for Fiorentina. They're coming into this match under pressure. Their win probability is low, 12%. They've conceded against Inter in most recent matches and haven't shown strong away form in this fixture. Putting it together, why win or draw for Inter? Given their stronger form, dominance in the head-to-head and home advantage, betting on them not to lose is reasonable. Why over 1.5 goals? At least 2 total goals are very likely. The stats show many matches between these two end with 3 or more goals. With Inter pushing and Fiorentina vulnerable, expecting more than 1.5 goals fits the pattern. Wrap up. So overall, this match looks like it will feature goals and Inter will avoid a defeat. Backing Inter win or draw plus over 1.5 goals offers a solid, sensible build based on the data and trend analysis. If you like, I can pull 2 extra alternate markets for this fixture, corners, cards, first goal scorer, and I'll prep the full voiceover script, including those in the same conversational style.